To kick it off, the topic is sex work, boys and girls. We are talking about history's oldest profession, some might say, or a genuine fucking degeneracy to society, some others might say, like our fine gentleman here with the mighty beard. So, representing the anti-sex work position would be Lanius, and the pro-sex work would be Casey, the avatar, the VTuber person. Right, okay, so guys, the floor is all yours. I wish you both good luck. And considering I have anything more to add with direct questions or trivia, then I will be doing that later on. For now, the floor is all yours. Have a good time.
Yeah, well, it sounds like from that prompt, Casey would be going first here.
Oh, shit. Alright, no, the opposite. That's fine, I will go first. Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, and Ted Bundy. That is the answer. And the question is, who are three dudes that were massively backed up and would have benefited greatly from a more sexually liberal society? No doubt. It's a tip of the hat to my dear friends. My dear friends. The men and women over at the Hub and all similar institutions, truly doing the Lord's work. The Lord who himself knew the value of a sex worker, hanging out with one. Don't get me wrong, Jesus was undoubtedly gayer than Liberace, but of all the words and lessons he spoke, none put to shame the good works of Lady Magdalene or any of the lookers currently doing God's work over at OnlyFans. Sex work is a net positive for any society. Prostitution should be legal. And laws to the contrary are harmful to those who participate in prostitution and are generally a harm to the well-being of a society. Moreover, pornography, strip clubs, OnlyFans, and the like are truly make our society a better place. New York City. People who are often against sex workers, generally, in all its forms at least, primarily are primarily against women using their bodies to gain power over men. Not that it is particularly pertinent, but as far as facts go, many people who have an issue with women using their sexuality don't have any issue with men doing the same. Similar to the feelings of those who would require women to wear hijabs or full burqas to hide themselves. The idea that women shouldn't be able to use those feminine wiles to get ahead in society is an old one, a repressive and sexist one. Moreover, anti-porn advocates nearly always argue from the side of men being victims of pornography or of men being victims of women taking advantage of them in some regard. And on the other side, we see those whom would consider sex work to be taking advantage of women broadly, though we would rarely see such an argument made for any other act of or service done so freely and willingly by the so-called victims. And how we know it is a choice, although men don't have the choice to do it and somehow seem to make do no matter how bad the situation, they seem to get by. If the argument is ever that women are forced to, in the first world, to do sex work, so-called survivor sex workers, please explain how then men somehow survive without doing it. As an advocate for true equality amongst the sexes, I cannot allow for laws that are so obviously made to limit the options of one of the sexes. It is unfair and immoral to do so. At best, we are infantilizing women as a group, thinking they haven't the mental faculties to make such choices, and so we must protect these poor souls from themselves. So now, we are in an argument over who is exploiting who as it comes to sex workers and the customers. Though either way you might look at it, both are clearly willing participants, at least in a regulated market. Which brings us to the next point. The world that is a world that, as a general term, sex work. Wait, the fuck? Right there. Okay. A word. As a general term, sex work. I am not including any actual forced sex work. Okay. It is a poor society where women or girls are actually forced to do this type of work or starve. And obviously, this type of society has more pressing issues than whether or not to legislate against sex work. Or maybe that would be a positive for them. Either way, I believe the spirit of the question at hand is in regard to the first world or even otherwise functioning societies and not those in some state of total disarray. I don't believe finding a single instance of sex work having been a detriment would in fact meet the requirements of, quote, sex work is a detriment to society. Wouldn't make that a true statement. Rather, at the heart of the question is, I believe, is sex work in a relatively well-functioning society a net benefit or detriment. I've agreed with my opponent prior. Limit the definition of sex work as it pertains to the question of legalities to only cover prostitution. This is for his benefit, mostly. And unless he opens the door otherwise, then sort of what I'm working with. When we're like talking about only the legalities, that is to say, that
He's
as far as
smiling.
I'm aware, my opponent won't be arguing to outlaw the different things or when we're talking. Yeah, basically, as I understand, but he could state his shit himself. Anyway, death, taxes, and prostitution. Um, Societal constants throughout history, and if we assume there will be prostitution, better for it to be legal. It's better for the women involved to be working from a place of business rather than in a dark alleyway somewhere. If there is an assault from some John, the victims in this case are often reluctant to seek out law enforcement because of the illegality of the acts they themselves were engaging in. This is about protecting those workers that will exist regardless of whether you outlaw it or not. About protecting them. Um, that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. 1 second. Thank you, Casey.
Yes.
Over to you, Lanius. You have 6-7 minutes. Okay, so you're all good to go.
Yep. And just to reference something, just to reference something Casey was talking about there a couple minutes ago. Him and I got together and discussed whether or not this was that prostitution was going to be the focus. I decided to prepare for everything just in case it was going to be about more than just prostitution. So I will I definitely will open that door just to keep some different topics on the table so we can jump from one to the other. But that being said, I'll be arguing against the general concept of sex work. Sex work, according to the Oxford Reference, is described as follows, quote, paid employment in the sex industry comprising prostitution and pornography. Now, personally, I would further this definition to include adult live entertainment. So this would be like stripping. I would also refine the concept of employment to include subcontractors, which makes up the majority of strippers, and those who engage in independent or semi-independent acts of sex work. So female sex workers are involved with pimps or managers or agents, pornographers, things like that. A sex worker, according to Merriam-Webster, is defined as follows, quote, a person whose work involves sex acts, especially a person who engages in sexual intercourse in exchange for pay. Now, quote, sex acts is a very obviously vague term, but I'm sure this concept will be fleshed out more in our open discussion. Now, my personal opinions about each layer of sex work that were just mentioned actually involve like some nuance and some flexibility, but for the purposes of this debate, my general sentiment will be to provide the against argument. A few reasons why sex work should be illegal: criminal, generally not allowed, or societally frowned upon. Summarily, the against argument. 1, prostitution is a breeding ground for human trafficking. Now, according to Donna Hughes for the National Institute of Justice Journal in 2001, the National Institute of Justice is actually a research, development, and evaluation agency of the U.S. Department of Justice. This is a paper entitled "The Natasha Trade: Transnational Sex Trafficking," in which she states, "quote, legalization of prostitution, pimping, and brothels causes an increase in trafficking to meet the demand created by a legitimized sex industry." Now, the difficulty in distinguishing between voluntary and forced prostitution in legal frameworks complicates prosecution, allowing traffickers to evade justice. Legalization of prostitution supports a system where traffickers can operate more freely, making it challenging to hold them accountable and increasing the vulnerability of women to exploitation and abuse. In the same vein, there was also a study by Seo Young Cho in 2012 for a piece called World Development. And this is a study called "Does Legalized Prostitution Increase Human Trafficking?" Now, I will say right up front, I put the link in our little side chat here, and I'm happy to control F it and search through it if this comes up again. But I will say this is an incredibly technical document, including statistics formulas and things like that. And I am not going to bog down the conversation with my lack of knowledge in this genre of math. But I will say that Cho wrote in this study, quote, "We find that countries with legalized prostitution have a statistically significantly larger reported incidence of human trafficking inflows." Now, this is in relation to the study involving a global sample of up to 150 countries. Last point in terms of the prostitution being a breeding ground for human trafficking actually comes from the Polaris Project, which is a leading survivor-centered, justice and equity-driven movement to end human trafficking. Now, in 2021, according to their numbers, out of almost 9,000 reported situations, if you look at the document, they differentiate between situations and actual number of victims. But for this data point, I'm just going with the situations. There were 9,000 reported just to Polaris, and of the 9,000, up to 7,500 of them were sex related. Now, finding stats like this are inevitable, but what is important to keep in mind is that this is just one organization. On a federal level, the Bureau of Justice statistics have almost 50% increases in persons referred and persons prosecuted over the course of a decade between 2011 and 2021. So that covers, it's hard to really cover the human trafficking idea, but I'm going to leave those to marinate for a second and move on to porn. So pornography is highly addictive and leads to negative personal and social consequences. It is now more abundantly available than at any time in human history, leading to an increased scale of engagement, particularly in younger demographics with the advent of the internet. Now, this is also something I put in the side chat here. In terms of dopamine, constant arousal causes the brain to shut down dopamine release, leading to potential detrimental effects on physical and mental health. And also on top of that, pornography is just difficult to regulate. I mean, impacting the engagement and the involvement of minors and victims of human trafficking. These are all ideas that are tied up with pornography. And the last one that I'll mention here is strip clubs. Strip clubs, this is something I know more than anybody here. I worked in a strip club for 4 or 5 years. I worked closely with girls and sex workers, and I could just tell you at the very least that strip clubs act as a gateway to things like pornography, to things like prostitution. I have seen young women come in and out of that system, and some of them were just, full of life when they came through those doors, and then once they got put through the meat grinder, just were a completely different person. And there's plenty of stories that I don't even know I could probably tell on Twitch, but suffice to say, if you combine my sentiment about strip clubs, particularly in relation to my experience with them, some data points that we can hit on with human trafficking, and some of the long-lasting effects of pornography, I would be happy to argue against sex work in this context. So thank you.
Okay, so just so everybody's following along, Lanius, what exactly within these papers? I've obviously clicked on the last of the papers that you listed, the one that's going under national. Is that the correct one?
The last one should be the the Bureau of Justice Statistics.
Yeah. National Human Trafficking Hotline, I think, is the last one.
Oh no, that's Polaris.
Okay.
So that would be the second point I made in terms of pornography, where, the third point I made in terms of human trafficking, where those numbers, added up to being, 7,500 of the 9,000
all right.
being sex related.
All right. Well, the judges are, I should assume they're looking at going over those papers, but okay. So, Casey, now those were the opening statements. So anybody who didn't have a clear enough idea of what is going on here, now you should have a clearer view of the things that are going to be discussed. And Casey, you take it off from there. You can provide counterclaims, you can argue against his points, you can do whatever it is the hell you want to do. Casey is muted. Yeah, Casey is muted.
You're muted, bud.
Yeah. And Casey's gone.
We're off to a good start.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is brilliant.
This happens though. He had to do this the last time him and I talked. So
okay, all right. Well, now we have you guys on the opposite sides. All right, here we go. All right, Casey's back. Okay, we can hear. Yeah, we can hear you now.
What's a doozle?
Yeah, all right. I thought you ditched the whole debate deathmatch thing. You're like,
that was too good.
Yeah, fuck this Lanius guy. He's got too much things to say. Yeah, that's what I thought happened. Yeah.
I'm out of here.
All right. Okay. So yeah, you can provide counterclaims, or you can engage with what he's said. You take it wherever it is you feel like you want to go. Up to you.
Yeah, let's start with like sex trafficking. Even if I bought the argument that illegal prostitution might increase sex trafficking there.
No. Legal prostitution would, because it would increase demand.
Right. Sorry, I missed it. Yeah, exactly. They would increase demand. That's sort of a spurious statement, but okay. Somehow having more prostitutes increases demand. Would you agree that if you legalize it, there's more people doing it?
I would say that if you legalize it, there could be a lot more people doing it.
I'd also say the like correlation with the study is like if you have legal prostitution, it's more likely that they're like you're sex trafficking or whatever. For that, I assume that they're talking about like women being like abducted for sex trafficking. Mostly, I would assume.
I mean, there was mention of that, but the particular one of the particulars of that second study that I mentioned for world development really focused on where certain markets were where it was legal. So, for example, I believe it was they got into case studies from Sweden, Denmark, and Germany, and for those particular ones, it supported their findings because it showed that the scale effect dominates, meaning, because there's so much market demand there, that's where the traffic's going to go. And they weren't going around asking people, hey, are you human trafficked? They just monitored the routes in which the fluctuations in human trafficking increased, and they all seem to be towards these places where sex work or prostitution were legalized or decriminalized.
So yeah, in that instance, it's hard to say that there would be less sex trafficking if more countries were made it illegal for prostitution. In that those who are being sex trafficked might just end up going to those countries that prostitution is legal. So unless we're making it illegal everywhere, there's probably some degree of it going on.
I guess it depends on the kind of argument you can make. So, for example, look at something like OnlyFans, right? If we look at just OnlyFans burst onto the scene, 100% legal. By all means, go ahead and do whatever you want. And people did. People literally did. They flocked to it, and they used it as a method to supplement their income during a hard time. And that's
COVID.
understandable. But for the most part, where there was demand, there was increased activity and engagement. So I'm not saying that it exactly scales to brothels and alleyway prostitution or anything, but you can see an example in OnlyFans where there was a demand and the demand was more than met.
And would you say that if someone is being sex trafficked, would you think that the situation is probably better or worse if they're being sex trafficked to a place that has legal prostitution?
Mm-hmm.
If you had to say, I think the U.S. is a pretty good example of like, would you rather be sex trafficked to Las Vegas or, California?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess if you wanted to be sex trafficked,
It's a good question.
if you had to be sex
It's a
trafficked,
good question.
then you would want a place like Germany or Sweden or Denmark where the availability for legality and resources would be more abundant than other places. So
yeah.
I don't know if you're making that's a good thing kind of argument, but I don't know. I'm just curious to know what are we analyzing when we talk about that?
Mostly I just, for one, I think that it's sort of a sort of down the line sort of after effect um where there's more like, first of all, I would say that there's more direct positive and negatives as far as legalizing prostitution. Then like down the line there might be more sex trafficking towards that area, but then but you're not even saying that there's more sex trafficking going on anyway, but just that the sex trafficking might probably end up there and not somewhere else. But again, I would say that it's almost like secondarily. I would say that like a more primary effect is the bigger one is, I would say, is like the women doing the prostitution have an option to go to like the police when something bad happens, or the idea that prostitutes are either in an alley somewhere or in a house, or in a business place. That is such a staunch difference and direct that
I mean, yeah,
I
but we're talking about perfect examples here. We're talking about, or at least you're talking about, an independent sex worker who's being sex trafficked. And, if they end up in Denmark, at least they have legal recourse to figure out a way to remedy their situation. Now, not everything's perfect. Mr. and Mrs. Human trafficker may hold this person's passport. They may be holding
Mr. and Mrs.
a firearm to their sister's head. They may threaten their actual home where their family lives in their country of origin. It's not just a buy and sell kind of situation. I mean, it's a dirty industry, and I don't know. I think it doesn't matter.
You mentioned firearms a minute ago. Do people kill people, or do guns kill people? Would you say?
People can kill people, and guns can kill more than just people. They can kill animals. They can kill.
You blame the gun, or you blame the people?
I blame both.
Two piece.
Is that
Okay.
is there something there?
It's just the idea that
I'm not buying
the
that
act
one.
of doing the bad thing, which is sex trafficking, is it's its own like people doing a bad thing that is still illegal. You're not making it legal to do sex trafficking.
We demand a refund, they're saying. These motherfuckers are demanding a refund. All these pieces of shit paid for shit. They're demanding a refund. Yo, guys, give me a second. Let's see what's going on. No, I was talking about chat. Okay, it looks like it's fine for now. I don't really know. Let's see. Is everything okay? Guys, say everything's okay in chat. Let's see if the stream's back. So far, so good now. Okay. All right, we'll pick up where we left off, and all those smart-ass comments you both made to each other. You're gonna have to include them for the record. Just saying to catch the judges up. So, yeah, just say what happened in the last 1 minute before I told you to pause, and we'll continue from there. Okay, just give them a briefing.
Well, I just told Casey that I thought it would be interesting. I was interested to know exactly how that gun argument was going to be fleshed out, and he proceeded to say that well, it was a tactic, and I skillfully ducked and dodged it with my answer. So
All right, we're gonna bring the judges in for a second, and then we're gonna put them back into the judges to see, because they all have questions. They say. Let's see what they all have to say. We're bringing everybody into the same fucking channel. So go ahead, judges. Ask them what you have to ask.
I was wondering, so I know the format here, but I was wondering, since Casey got to throw some things my way, I was wondering if I could ask at least Casey a question before we brought judges in.
Casey? No. Just judges wanted to ask. I don't even know what it has to do with, or whether it has to do with specifically moving forward.
Yeah, I have two questions, right? Question
Okay.
one, what's the difference between a bonus claim and a normal claim?
Oh,
Like,
for God's sake.
Like, no one understands in the VC right now. Everyone
Yeah, we're
is
not
confused
judging
about it.
bonus claims right now. We just all decided to take that off the table.
Wait, guys, I literally asked you motherfuckers last night. Okay, no. No, claims are basically when they're throwing accusations between one and the other side. So I guess you just said that you've been using those ones. Thank God, because bonus claim literally comes at the end. Do not pay attention to it until I mention to you, you need to add on bonus claims, okay? What is the other one?
Okay, that's good. And the second one is, can we just stay in this channel in case it starts lagging again? Because that's annoying and we miss half of the debate. It's better to just keep us here, but like, I don't know, maybe mute it.
Yeah, but you guys need to communicate between you. That's why we can't keep you here. Because you guys...
we've been somewhat
Can you
muted
just
unless
tell
we had to have
wait. Can you just tell Casey Legate and yourself to just mute all of us from their side?
So you guys don't want to communicate between you?
No, so then we can't communicate if all of you individually mute all of us for your side only.
Okay, just do that. Lanius and Casey mute Zen, Anike, and Jack, and just let them stay here. Okay, I'm muting you guys. If you, this should solve the problem. Okay, right. So they're all muted. I can only hear both of you guys now. Let them yapper away all they want. You guys continue, and I'm going to fix your cameras in the meantime. So now everybody's in the same Discord. There's not going to be any like interruptions because of stream lag or anything. Regardless, so the show goes on. Yeah, regardless the show.
Those were the questions that the judges wanted to ask.
Yeah. It's all pertaining to Debate Deathmatch, which is
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since Casey threw a couple things my way, I'll throw a couple things his way.
Yeah.
How does Casey either solve or justify the human trafficking problem?
I mean, it has a lot to do with how you handle immigration. Because sex trafficker, they're almost always from out of country, and especially when the U.S. is someplace where like they want to be anyway. The idea that they're going to report themselves as a sex slave or whatever, when doing so, even if they believe reporting such a thing has a high probability of them having to be forced to leave the country, they're often not willing to do so. So it's mostly about immigration than anything else.
Okay, what would you do with immigration?
But you need to make it very the things like cops. You need to make a solid line between the law enforcement and the immigration enforcement. And lately in this country, it's sort of been, the walls have come down a few times in some instances, and like, what claim, you little fucker? Oh. Oh.
Wait, what's going on?
Answer my question.
What's going on?
I got everybody muted, but
Alright.
I think I heard Anoka for some reason.
Yeah.
I said they should mute themselves. Fine, I'll mute them. Fine.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Mute. Blah 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 blah. Mute.
I'm so
Mute.
organized.
Close.
I'm
Alright.
brilliant at this. Holy shit.
Alright, I mute them. If I can get back a little bit to but this fucking argument, this discussion isn't about sex trafficking, and the idea that you said that you made a point a bit ago. You were like that the making prostitution illegal would you said that it would reduce sex trafficking like some by some large margin or something. And I would
I mean,
I
to
think
be
that
clear, all I did was make an analogy with macaroni and cheese. What my initial proposition is that prostitution is a breeding ground for human trafficking. Do you disagree with that?
yes, I disagree with that. The idea
Okay.
that they're more likely to end up there, and by I think the margins matter a lot. In that Nevada isn't even the state with the most sex traffic, the sex traffic people there. It is high on the list, but it's not first. It's Mississippi. So if there are things that are even like more important than the sex trafficking, then I think that you are
Yeah,
trying
but I mean,
to draw a
yeah, but
one-to-one like correlation, where clearly that's not the case.
couldn't the Nevada scenario just be chalked up to oversaturation? I mean, we're talking about a state where it is essentially legalized, particularly in
Exactly.
the brothel community, and I think it's like
Oh.
Carson City, Reno, and particularly Las Vegas, where they have the most lenient of laws. But in the state in general, um, it's there's not legalized street prostitution, but there's so much prostitution compared to the rest of the country that the market is essentially oversaturated. So they're going to go.
Motherfucker, you made the claim that making prostitution legal increases the demand for sex trafficked people. You made the claim. It seemed a little spurious to me because there'd be more prostitutes there, and so why would they need even more prostitutes? But you made the claim, motherfucker. Now you're saying the opposite.
He said it again.
Well, okay, so if I say that prostitution is a breeding ground for human trafficking, and you disagree with that, are you telling me that the only thing that you have to back that up is the fact that Mississippi, which is a state just like any other that I don't know, criminalizes prostitution? I'm not sure exactly what their law is, but frowns upon, generally not allowed, illegal, whatever you want to call it. Are you telling me that your whole basis on this argument of prostitution not being a breeding ground for human trafficking is based on the state of Mississippi?
I mean, it's a pretty big deal. Like, there's one state with legal prostitution, and what I really am doing, I'm not even saying that they're not correlated, because I'll give you that Nevada has it probably has a higher level of sex trafficked people than it would have if it didn't have legal prostitution. Like, I'll even give you that. But you throw around terms like breeding ground as if it like was the most important thing or something. Well, it's just like a correlation, but it's clearly not even the most important attribute that a state could have that to create the quote unquote breeding ground.
What would be the most important attribute?
I don't know, because Mississippi has the highest. So whatever Mississippi has, I don't know. It's not illegal prostitution.
Okay. Well, you could be correct there. I mean, like, I don't mind ceding ground where it makes sense, and if Mississippi has the kind of numbers that you're talking about, that's I'm fine to take that at your word. But I just imagine that if I asked anybody else if prostitution is a breeding ground for human trafficking, I think I'd mostly get agreeance with my perspective on this. Maybe not necessarily, maybe not necessarily that legalization, is essentially the pipeline for the most human trafficking. But so for example, I think there was also in some of those numbers in one of, I think might have been the Polaris link. Let me pull that up here for a second. Yeah, so Polaris. Okay, so in terms of percentage of situations, and well, Polaris breaks it down in two different ways. They describe things in terms of situations, which can involve multiple people, and then they also break it down in terms of likely victims, meaning single individuals. And when you look at their numbers, you see that the highest the highest amounts of human trafficking, at least reported and according to Polaris, involve bars, strip clubs, and cantinas, escort services. Where are we at here? Also, pornography, personal sexual servitude, residential-based commercial sex, escort services being the largest, and that we're talking about in terms of situations. So maybe in Mississippi, there's just a lot of demand in these specific venues. Now, that's according to situations. If you look at it in terms of likely victims, you have escort services, 17%. You have, where is it? Bars, strip clubs, and cantinas, 3%. You have illicit massage, health, and beauty, 9%. You have pornography, 14%. And you have residential-based commercial sex, 9%. Maybe there's just something about Mississippi and those particular venues as to why those numbers are the way they are.
I'm sure
Maybe.
it's something. But okay, so on the positive side, legalizing prostitution leads to a regulated thing. So you could have example have like mandatory health checks or regular mandatory screening for STDs. It makes it safer for instance both the Johns and the women. It also leads to, as I stated before, it's safer for the women when they could report crimes such as assault, exploitation, or yes, even human trafficking without fear of repercussion. Although again, that has more to do with immigration. They have legal. Wait, I just realized that crazy motherfucker is one of our judges. Ugly, whatever. They have legal recourse and can more easily seek help from law. There's economic benefits for the prostitutes that generally make more money. And can more freely, work independently
That
without
is
having
Zen.
a pimp having to
That is Zen.
regulate things like and to reduce stigma and et cetera. Like there's so many benefits, and all I heard from you is like some sort of some correlation with sex trafficking. So what else you got?
Well, I mean, I just want to answer to the original question. The original question was, how does Casey either solve or justify the human trafficking problem? Now, if
Is
you
this debate
think
about
that,
sex trafficking?
I don't know.
Go
I
on.
mean, I am happy to put out there that human trafficking and sex work are linked at the hip. I could be completely wrong about that. The chat might say, "Hey, Legate, you're completely wrong." You're clearly saying I'm completely wrong. Boss might be
Wait,
saying,
what?
"Hey, I don't know. I'm not sure."
What is Casey? What was your question? If it's connected to sex work, or if it should be included into
No,
this?
my question to Casey is, how does he either solve or justify the human trafficking problem?
Yeah, I know.
And Casey's response to that is, well, we're talking about sex work. We're not talking about human trafficking. And my argument is, well, they're kind of joined at the hip. If we want to talk about one, we have to talk about the other.
Okay, well, but do you both acknowledge that regardless of, to understand is it connected or not, is it a part of it? Are both of you willing to acknowledge that sex trafficking is a part of that industry or sex work industry? And it goes...
No, not really.
Not really.
I'll give him a correlation of an increased incidence of sex trafficking. I'll give him a correlation, but to say that, yeah, but
Yeah, you
all of
could...
these terms that we've been using are a gross overestimation
Okay.
of facts.
Okay, well, if Lanius wants to insist on this, then you can debate on whether or not it should be included into sex work. You can do that. If you feel like you've done that enough, you can choose to move on to another point, or you can essentially prove that it is correlated.
I am 100% happy
Yep.
to let Casey leave human trafficking in the dust for the judges to let them marinate on that. I am absolutely happy with that.
Yeah, I listed like 10 benefits, and all I've heard is one minus. So and the debate isn't about sex trafficking. So
Okay. I can imagine.
Okay.
I can imagine that Lanius's argument is basically hinging on the idea that how sex trafficking is intertwined within sex work. From just hearing the conversation, not assuming anything else, and so according to him, that would be considered a negative side effect of sex work, and hence why he's bringing it up. Now, if Casey refuses to acknowledge that, that's perfectly acceptable. That can be your position. if Lanius wants to provide evidence or proof to suggest that they are highly correlated or to what extreme they are correlated, you can do that, or you can both choose to continue the conversation in another direction. It's up to you.
I mean, I personally think that I said enough about why I think they are linked.
Yep, that's awesome.
And you can look at some of the studies as well. So, but again, you know, I don't think it's that, you know, in order, I do want to steelman Casey in the sense that he's not saying it's not a problem. He's just saying that that we can attribute more things to different things about sex work than we can to human trafficking.
Okay.
If we want to speak bad about sex work, there are a bunch of things we could touch on, but human trafficking is something that's kind of like you know, just we don't really need to talk about that. It's
Okay.
not as big of a deal.
What other negative impacts do you see present within the sex work, Lanius? Then, if not what do you call it, human trafficking, what else would you decide is a negative side effect of it?
Okay. Well, do you mind if I phrase that, you know, in terms of a question and
Sure.
kind of like maybe shift
Go
the
ahead.
topic
Yep.
over? You know, we can come back to prostitution in a second, but
Yep.
let's get into porn because I know that's Casey's wheelhouse,
Yep.
and I don't want to play it safe. I want to take some risks here, so I'm gonna take a leap off the ledge and we'll see if anything can come from that.
You do you.
Yeah. So okay. So where are we with? Actually, this is probably more about sex work in general, and this is just a general question. I mean, we could focus on porn if you want. I don't care which way it goes, but you know, if the majority of Americans opposed sex work, are these many millions of people just plain wrong? What would make your perspective on this topic better than theirs?
Do they? This is hypothetical.
Yeah. We're creating ideas right now. So just to repeat it. So if the majority of Americans opposed sex work, are these many millions of people just plain wrong? What would make your perspective on this topic better than theirs?
I mean, I think that I would argue each thing separately. When if they said that they were quote unquote against.
Yeah, we can go one by one.
Pornography. I don't even know what that means. They want to ban pornography. They want to eliminate pornography from their society.
Let's say 160 million people in the United States of America said we want to ban pornography. Are they wrong?
Yeah, they're wrong. However, I do think that you know, we live in our democracy. If I mostly think that would be their right to do so, unless we think that it's somehow free speech or something. I'm fine with that. So I'm fine with the society having the right to you know, ban the pornography. But I would also I would say that they would be wrong in doing it, mostly because there's going to be pornography anyway. It's just going to be you know, harder to get it. Like the things it's stupid to ban something that there's so easily obtained with illegally, and there's nothing that's not ever truer statement than with pornography. I think a better case would a better instance for those people would be like, well, let's make sure to like spread the facts about the pornography that society or peoples or states or whatever that have a problem with, and let's make sure we're educated our young peoples. And if you really want to ban it, again, I say all the power to you. If the majority of the people there want it banned, but I don't see a great benefit or I don't see a great benefit coming from that state or society. And I opened up with a bunch of psychos that I consider to be, you know, backed up sexually or whatever. Like I think a lot of bad things happen from mostly men being you know, keeping their sexuality locked away in some form or another. Go ahead and throw in Catholic priests into that category. But so I think that generally speaking, a more let's say a more tolerant society when it regards to sex work is a more healthy society, generally speaking.
Yeah, you did say that. You said in your opening, you said, I mean, I had to put in ellipses here because you kind of lumped in everything like pornography, prostitution, OnlyFans, and you said makes our society a better place, quote unquote. That is what you said in your intro. Now, let's say, for example, that, well, actually, you said it just a minute ago. You said that porn is easier to access than it ever has been, right? I mean, that's even something I mentioned in my intro. I think we could both agree on that, right?
Yep.
Okay. So what if we had a town? Let's call it Caseyville. And in Caseyville, forget banning porn. Let's say we banned the internet. There's no internet. That means there's no internet porn in Caseyville. And in Caseyville, after 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, there's somebody there that's just, they're from the local university and they're doing a sociology degree and they're measuring the effects of not having the internet in Caseyville and what it's and what has happened to the town essentially. And it comes back that everybody reports stable dopamine levels, greater averages of positive mental health, and a general content with their own lives. Would that be bad?
There's no bad. No, that wouldn't be bad. That'd
Okay,
be fine. I mean,
so
look,
it'd be good.
you're like you have those weird hypothetical. Like, yeah, I'm not opposed to the idea that that society would be better without it or whatever. It's sort of like in your sort of you make the case for why it would be.
Yeah, but the
I've heard.
hypothetical is just meant to force you to engage with the idea that taking something out of the equation can have positive benefits. And I think you just agreed
What
with me that it
benefits
would.
were that? I know, but those are hypothetical benefits. So we
Well,
can
the
talk about
benefits
like
of the benefits of this person who's studying in Caseyville sociology at the local university reports that people on average, particularly younger people, have more stable levels of dopamine, and they have higher averages of positive mental health, and just report an overall content with their personal lives.
the more so on the dopamine thing, the same is true for like people who work out versus people who don't work out. Like being working out is one of the things that like releases dopamine and in master and by the way, we're always, especially in the realm of porn bad, we're always conflating porn and whacking off. So to say that that's the it's
What
like,
else?
is this
What
about
else would you
porn
do?
watching or is it
Wait,
about the thing
wait,
that you're doing?
wait.
Right,
Hold
right,
on.
right.
What else would you do? What other activities could somebody do when they're watching porn?
No.
Could they eat
If you're
popcorn?
whacking off, but the idea is that you could whack off
Popcorn.
without porn. That's the idea.
Sure, yeah, for sure. You could.
So and by the way, that this like change or whatever, it's basically as I have read, it's mostly like a hypothetical change. It's like this thing does this thing excites dopamines, and we know that things that excite dopamines change your base dopamine level. So therefore, watching porn changes your base dopamine level. This is basically of all the studies that I've read, this is basically it's sort of like if this then that, within no real meaningful measurement as far as individuals who watch porn versus not watch porn as far as dopamine levels.
Let me put an example out there that I think you could probably relate to. Let's say, for example, in Israel and in the Gaza Strip, for some reason, Israelis are banned, the IDF is banned, and Palestinians get to do what they want to do. Would that be better for them?
Yes.
So
He's good. He's
removing
good.
things from the equation, in particular this with Mossad, with IDF, with the Israeli government in general, with Bibi, with all these
He's
things, you could take
good.
it all out of the equation, and it would be a net benefit for Palestinians, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just all I'm doing is highlighting that there are possibilities out there, regardless of where we put them or how we express them, where when we remove something from the equation, there is a net benefit.
Yes.
So all I'm asking you to do is to prove why excuse me,
Oh,
not
oh.
removing sex work wouldn't have the same effect. That's all I'm asking.
He was asking me to prove a negative, which is not strictly speaking possible.
Okay, let me phrase it in terms
You
of
tell me
possible.
why. You tell me why exactly society would be better by removing it. But that's the fucking. You can't fucking try to fucking Uno me and.
Well, all right. You know what?
Reverse
Then, all right. Forget hypotheticals. We'll just go to your exact words. You said prostitution, pornography, OnlyFans, etc., makes our society a better place in your
That's fine.
opening argument, right?
Yes.
What about those things makes our society a better place? What is it about them?
Of the things that I listed, certainly of those things that I have access to and use, that I'm glad that I get to use them, and therefore it's better society. That's on the subjective level. On the objective level, again, I would say that the mental health of a non-sexually repressed society is generally better. And a lot of that has to do with like suppressing women. By the way, it's not just like we don't like sex work. It is usually like we don't like women in sex work or whatever it is. Anyway, just generally speaking.
Is there such thing? Is there such thing as too much sex work?
Of course, of course.
Why? I mean, this is something that makes our society a better place.
Well, yeah. I would say that the one that there are as target though women when we're talking about this mostly like there's always going to be like a subset of women who are going to be like open to do this or whatever. Though I don't consider those people particularly healthy people, nor their lifestyles particularly healthy. I would say that if a society had too much like sex workers or whatever, that I would say that I would say that that society is probably not a healthy one and needs to look into what the fuck it's doing to its younger people to have that many women be sort of open to sex work or whatever because well-rounded, well-adjusted women just they don't even think about it. They don't,
Yeah,
it's
but in
always
your
going to
in
be
your
sex.
opening statement, you didn't say healthy levels of sex work make our society a better place. You just said that sex work makes our society a better place. So I'm wondering why you didn't qualify it if we both agree that too much sex work can be a bad thing and probably is a bad thing. It's like not even something
Right.
you mentioned.
So having it good, not having it bad. If having it good, yeah, it's like obviously too much of anything can be bad. That's not necessarily saying that it is bad thing. But too much of it
Okay.
obviously is bad.
So
And all of that, yeah,
what's your metric for for when there's too much? When does Casey say, "Oh, sorry, we reached that limit. We are at the threshold of too much sex work"? What would society look like if there was too much sex work?
yeah, I would say that no, it's all highly subjective, but yeah, I know it when I see it.
Well, I mean, who was it? Clarence Thomas that said that?
I think it
Pretty
was
sure.
before him.
Was it? Oh, I thought it was Clarence
Yeah.
Thomas.
Casey.
Well, I actually agree with you on that, Casey. It's we can have incredibly technical definitions about what pornography is or what sex work is, but I do agree with that sentiment that it's like just something that you know when you see it. Now, I think you're referencing that if you look at a city that has too much sex work, you know it when you see it. I don't know that that's the exact context that I would use, but I understand where you're going with that. So I'm happy to say that we visited this whole what makes your opinion better than a hypothetical millions of other people, and whether or not they're wrong or would be wrong. Let's toss the ball back over to you and hit me with your best. What do you got?
Yeah, just state that. Yeah, I don't. As far as what I know of Amsterdam, I think there's a lot of prostitution, and I don't think it's a problem. I think there's other societies that do have a lot of prostitution, and it is more of a problem. I think that it might come down to like how well regulated it is, and also other things going on in the society. Let's see. You mentioned any other reasons why porn would be would be some sort of, let's say, not a net positive. You said something about dopamine. Um,
Yeah, I said. I'll tell you what I said. I
do
said
you have any
that.
other ones?
I said constant arousal causes the brain to shut down dopamine release, leading to potential detrimental effects on physical and mental health.
There was a
And that, I mean, and
was a
particularly, the mention of constant there is supposed to be in reference to the parent point of this, which is that pornography is highly addictive. So if it's highly addictive and you are actively addicted to pornography, you're going to have constant
highly
arousal.
addictive. Who says that?
I did, that was the judgment call on my part. I put it in there for emphasis.
I know you didn't.
Um, yeah.
The American Medical Association did an in-depth dive into online gaming and found it to be it to be a addiction, and that same group of people looked at online pornography and discerned that it was not an addiction. It did not meet the criteria for it.
Wait, who said this?
The AMA,
Okay.
American Medical Association,
So
under the DSM, it is
okay.
not that. You could say that people
Wait,
like
hold on.
lots of things that
Wait. Before we go on, you're saying
yeah,
that the AMA said that you cannot be addicted to pornography?
it's not considered an addiction. Correct.
It's not considered an addiction. Well, yeah, the casual use of pornography probably isn't considered an addiction. But just like anything, you can use too much of it. And I'm just what I'm trying to understand here is you're telling me the AMA is saying that it is not addictive.
Correct.
Okay.
Not
Do you,
for medical terms, with the term addiction as we use it as medically, it constitutes some amount of loss in your life that you're willing to keep doing a thing, even though it's costing you, so much money that you lose your apartment, or it's costing your personal relationships, or like you're losing friends over it, or you lost your job over it. Like really meaningful negative things in your life are happening, but you keep doing the thing. This is sort of how we measure addiction medically.
what if we called it something
Casey needs
different?
to
Let's say
push
we didn't
him.
call it an addiction. Let's say we called it a dependency. Would you say that that's possible?
Nope.
It's not possible to have a pornography dependency.
I'll give you like that. Some people probably do. That some people do it more than they should. But what dependency?
Well, I mean,
Dependency.
the people that do
I
it
don't
more
know
than
in
they
what
should, do they have
possible.
a dependency or do they not have a dependency?
They definitely don't have a dependency. You take it
Okay.
away from them, they'll be like, "Ooh, I'm unhappy," and then they'll just whack off in the
Yeah,
shower
but
instead or whatever. It's
yeah,
fine.
but that statement right there, did that come from the AMA? No, it didn't.
No.
That came from the KCMA. I don't know. I look. If the AMA is saying that in technical terms is not or cannot be addictive pornography, I'm happy to wrestle with that. I'm curious. Like, can you just pop a link in the chat so I can look at it? Because I if I can find like a paragraph that just kind of digests that I can digest with that. Again, it's just one of these things where I feel like sorry, it's one of these things where I think that if I could go up to anybody on the street and ask them, is pornography addictive? Or can you have an addiction to pornography? I guarantee you, like 9 out of 10 people would say, yeah, regardless of what the AMA says.
Yeah,
Casey's
you could
got a
say that
point.
you're
Casey's got a
addicted
point. No,
to
he needs to push though. He needs to push.
shooting a gun at the firing range or
It is
something,
there.
or like just
Casey's
I'm
not
addicted to it.
bullshitting.
I love doing that shit or whatever. But on the but the term addiction,
Yeah, it's not.
as I sort of explained before, like in measuring of people like losing meaningful things in their life, but they keep still doing it. That's how it is.
Is it
Some
possible?
measured.
Is it possible to be addicted to sex?
He's gonna get. Yeah,
I'm
there
not
is a way that
sure. I
the
know that
Lanius can
there
get him.
are groups, sex addict groups.
Yeah,
I'm not
there are.
exactly sure.
There's probably pornography addict groups too. Probably, I don't know if there is.
Possible.
Yeah,
I've never heard of one, but it's possible.
I'd be hesitant to walk into a pornography addicts group and tell them that they're wasting their time hanging out with each other talking about something that doesn't exist. I guarantee you, if I Googled right now
Oh.
pornography addiction groups, I'm sure a bunch would pop up. so either they're fooling themselves or the AMA and you are right. I I'm happy to I'm happy to be proven wrong on this, but I just don't think I don't. I think I just have to look at this AMA thing that you were talking about to understand whether or not they just want to be incredibly technical about it, or are
The
willing
quote
to.
is
Casey should have pushed harder on this
GPT,
one.
so it's a grain of salt. That the AMA referred to these as problematic sexual behaviors rather than formal addiction.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I know you're correct on that because when I was looking it up, there was some specific
Yeah.
acronyms that they used to describe
Yes.
exactly what
Those
you were just talking
acronyms are
about.
very
I forget what they
important.
were, but there was something akin to that. There were a few of them, but I think one of them was exactly what you just said. So, I mean, yeah, of course, in terms of things that are diagnosable, things that are medical, things that are that can be studied. I'm happy to agree with you on that. But
I opened up
I
with
just disagree with the AMA. I don't know.
the fact that same group found online gaming, as addiction as an addiction, but did not find online porn. I think that is a meaningful.
That's big.
A meaningful thing.
That's big.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look, so for example, one of the things when this conversation came up is I just Googled is porn addictive, right? And one of the first things that comes up is a website called Addiction Center. Now, I looked a little bit into Addiction Center, and it doesn't seem to be a Nigerian prince asking me for Bitcoin, so that's good, right? But in terms of what they were talking about and what we're talking about, they have a page here, an article here saying why is porn addictive, and under that headline it says while pornography addiction is not yet a classifiable addiction, there's plenty research on the potential harms and side effects of pornography abuse. So I guess my real question is, are you happy to just land on the side of because it's technically not addiction because a couple boxes didn't get checked in a textbook somewhere that people can't be addicted to porn? That you're happy to be? That's the ground you want to stand on?
The ground I want to stand on is of science and of reality. And generally speaking, I'll say two things. One, that people can have might feel like they have a problem with pornography in their life, such that they're doing it and they want to stop and they don't stop, whatever it is. Like if those people want to get some sort of help, talk to someone about it, I'm not going to say to them oh no, it's not a problem for you or something. A lot of things, a lot of behaviors can be a problem, certainly. Eating too much, for instance, or not enough, or there's a lot of things in a lot of people's lives that can be a problem, and for which those people should I absolutely go talk to someone about it, absolutely. But it's also important to recognize. Also, two is that of the fucking porn is bad bros online, and they love the cite wrongly scientific studies, such as the dopamine thing I mentioned earlier. I also like to say that those who watch pornography are more likely to have a sexual difficulties or something in real whatever that's also fake news. It is all it's just so often there's just so much just fake science quoted at me all the time from these bros. That's why I think it is sort of a sticking point to me to go by the DSM and the AMA, and yeah.
Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on in terms of this dopamine situation or addiction?
Mm. Just that, just to point it off that I think that generally speaking, the idea that some guys can just go look up porn or whatever, and it's like and it's accessible and it's awesome. It's fucking awesome. What did I hear? What did I hear? That like they gave the internet to some like Amazonian tribe recently, and like after a month, like they were already
Oh, that was the Starlink thing.
basically addicted to porn. They
Yeah.
just were watching a bunch of porn. Their
That
lives are
actually
fucking better
that
than they
actually
used
was
to be.
that yeah, but that actually was proven wrong, and there was the New York
Well,
Times actually
oh,
retracted that article.
okay. I just saw a
Yeah.
headline that you might be right. You might.
Yeah.
But just the idea that bros' lives are are better because there's something online
Fucking
that we can
Amazonians
enjoy,
being their meat.
and
man.
I also think that clears a lot of minds out of being backed up, and
Mm.
just generally speaking, I the article.
Okay.
I'd rather have it than not have it. I think it adds to my to my quality of life. Generally.
Okay. Well, I mean, it makes our society a better place. So, I'm happy to follow you on this path here. So I want to ask you a question. All right, and it's another hypothetical, but it's not otherworldly, right? This is just a plain. Which would you choose? Okay. So if you had the choice between legalizing sex work or mandating the federal government set up mandatory programs for sex workers to train for another career path, which would you choose?
Sorry, was the first one mandatory sex work?
The
Is that what you
first one
said?
was if you had the choice between legalizing sex work
Oh, okay.
or mandating the federal government
Oh,
set up mandatory programs for sex workers to train for another career path, which would you choose?
the first one, probably. Um, I'd like to have both, but I think the benefit to those who are doing sex work, making it legal, especially for those on the streets, I think that the boost in the quality of their daily experiences is such an increase that I generally think that would be would do more. I'd like to have both. I mean,
Well, you can't. So you're choosing legalizing sex work, right?
we can. And we have both though.
No, not in this
Not
one.
in
Not in this
your
scenario.
hypothetical, but we could have both in reality, and that's the important part.
That is true.
Uh, yeah, technically you could, but in this scenario, it's a question of what you think what is more important.
Fuck, I
Legalizing sex
wasn't
work
muted.
or
Fuck, I wasn't muted.
ensuring that the government provides sex workers with a path away from something that most sex workers seek out because of desperation.
Yeah, I thought
Right?
I was
If
muted.
the government,
I thought I was muted. Judges retract my statement. Nobody say anything. I thought I was muted. Carry on.
that shit was bias. It's rigged.
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
It's rigged.
the boss to come in. Must have been a good point.
Jesus Christ, I'm the worst at this. Oh my
okay.
god. I'm so bad at
So
this.
what benefits would they get because sex work is legal now in the United States of Casey, right? All the sex workers they could have had a program to get them away from sex work, which most I would argue. I mean, I don't have a hardcore study on this, but having worked with sex workers for many years, I know that most of the people I worked with did not want to be doing what they were doing, and if they could do anything else, they would have done it.
Wait a minute.
But we're
That's
removing that
also-
option. We're removing that option from them, and we're just saying, hey, look, we just promise you won't go to jail, or there won't be any retaliation if you try to report, any kind of bad behavior on somebody else's part with respect to your sex work. So, what kind of benefits are they getting from it being legalized?
Um, just I'll go through the list here. You said that they wanted to do something else, and
Come on,
they
Casey.
they would have done something else if they could have. And I addressed it in my opening statement that the idea that they don't have a choice or something, like the idea that men don't have the choice, but sometimes somehow they get along fine.
Hmm.
Um, and it tends to be like a certain type of person who gets into sex work. And the idea that they don't want to do it, I think it's sort of the opposite, that they actually do want to do it. That it's that it tends to be sort of a not like prostitution, but at least like strippers or whatever. I think it's sort of it seems like a power thing that like control men, and they usually don't have good relationships with men. And it's sort of like having power over them. But just first of all, yeah, the idea that if they could do something else, that they would. They could do something else. They don't. But as far as legalizing, um, obviously even the stigma around doing such things, if people are going to do it anyway, like would be is less less the stigma. Lots of people, unfortunately, I mean, they might grow up and their mom goes to the strip club or whatever every night or whatever, for them or whatever, for their sakes, for their mental health, and the way that the stigmatization around what their mom might do or whatever. And by the way, don't tell your kids. Just tell them you're waitressing. It's fine. But either way, I mean, I listed
Lie
a
to
lot
your
of things
kids.
earlier,
Oh my God.
including mandatory screening for transmitted diseases and infections, which would be good for have them like you the sex workers, that you owe a license. If you're not a licensed, then fuck off. You could fucking have AIDS or whatever. But you're licensed, I know you don't. To better for the women and
That
better
is
for the
true.
men. And
More
even for the
hygienic,
men,
more
if
healthy.
they
Yes.
if they want to partake, go get a test or something. Maybe.
My point is that if we mandated the federal government to set up mandatory programs for sex workers to train for another career path, we would be in fact giving them something. What I'm asking you is, what are we giving sex workers if we legalize sex work? That is
Better
what the question
pay.
is meant
Condoms,
to kind of
tests.
conjure up. We are in terms of a federal program, we would be giving them something.
Condoms,
If legalizing
tests.
sex work is the better option, I want to know, what are we giving them?
So your sort of the hypothetical is like it's almost like the second one is like all the sex workers disappear, and then they're suddenly office
I didn't say that.
workers.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, but that's sort of like the
I didn't say
what is
that. I didn't say
behind
they're
it
all
is,
going to disappear.
all right. What is the percentage of individuals who you think
I don't know. I mean,
sort
like,
of take up
I don't know. Let's say it's a pilot program, right? The first year, we see about a 20% reduction in overall street prostitution in major urban areas, and then by year 5, we're looking at 35%, and then by year 10, it's reduced by half because women have been given another option. What I'm asking is, what are we giving sex workers, and particularly
All
female
right, bro.
sex workers?
Do you?
Um,
Whatever is better for you.
what are we giving, if anything, by legalizing sex work to them?
Yeah, you know what? I shouldn't have asked you for the numbers, because you're gonna get them out of your ass, and you did. So forget about the numbers. We have no idea what the numbers are, but
I know.
Or
I would
just
say
mute
that
them. You can just
if they're
mute
going
them.
to exist anyway, that their experience is so greatly improved under legal than not legal. And by the way, I don't know why I have to choose, but whatever. Uh, um, that making it illegal doesn't mean necessarily that well, maybe some of them there'll probably be more prostitutes, so if it's legal, of course, um but that the prostituting experience will be so much better, so generally it's not as a bad of a thing than it would be. Yeah, yeah, my evaluation is under the guise of it being it going to exist anyway. Oh shit, am I still connected? I heard a beep.
Yeah, you're good. Well, I can hear you. I don't know,
Okay.
boss.
Yeah, we can hear you. Everything's all right.
Okay.
Our goal.
Okay. Well, that was just. I don't know that many of my other questions are actual hypotheticals, so I just wanted to get at least that one out of the way, and then I think anything else I have here is more about.
Here's a question for both of you. Right. I don't know how much you've seen relating to this topic. It's something that I've recently become aware of. It is relevant to the topic at hand, but it is overly slanted towards one of your sides. So what I'm going to have to do is, if I'm going to ask this question, then I'm going to have to ask a follow-up after we're done with this one, after you're done engaging with this one. So just keep that in mind. All right. So the question is, there are people who introduce certain countdowns of sorts for when a girl, specifically, usually is centered around females, will reach the age of 18. And the moment they turn 18, they obviously create an OnlyFans account, and it's like a growing trend or whatever. So, what are our thoughts on this? Do we care about it? Do we not care about it? Do we feel like this is intrinsic to the environment? Do we feel like this is a direct influence on the young women? Do we feel? How do we feel about this? And give us your takes on it.
I mean, I think it's just a sign of the times. I think that's, look, if you want to turn 18 and do OnlyFans, hey, we got a country for you if you want to do that. But the fact that there are people out there initiating these timers, for minors to turn 18 is fucking absolutely degenerate and fucking ridiculous. I think it's just indicative of the kind of country that we're creating for ourselves. And I, for one, know that if I had a daughter who was slowly approaching the age of consent, if I found out that anybody I knew or anybody that I could have contact with was doing something like that, I'd be really fucking mad. And I think most fathers out there would, and I think most mothers out there would, except for some crazy blue-haired, septum piercing, fucking intersectional feminists who are so intensely sex positive that they just have to support anything with the word sex in it. But yeah, I'm against it. Let's put it that way.
Okay, Casey.
It's not a great look, but at the same time, I feel like strongly that we're infantilizing women or slash girls, or young women, like we see them as not being able to decide these things. Like either they're adults or they're not adults. If we want to raise the age of what we consider adults, that's fine. If that's in fact what we think, if we think that you're not an adult at 18, then raise it up a little bit. I guess that's the real question. As far as girls, popping on the OnlyFans is such a it's a light form. Like it could be so much worse. I honestly like the more screwed up the girl, like the more hardcore shit that she ends up getting into, and I think you could be just off of normal and end up on OnlyFans, and you'll probably make a lot of money really early in your life, and you could turn that into whatever the fuck you want. I don't think it's that bad of a thing, basically.
Okay, and my next question, I could provide a follow-up after that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to throw another spanner in the works, seeing as I like being a fucking asshole. Okay, so the next question would be pertaining to something relating to, and I'm going to give an example of the cannabis industry. So anybody who isn't aware of this, up until somewhat like 5 or so many years ago, cannabis especially was illegal in the United States of America, but it was legal for an extended period of time in places like the Netherlands and specific territories within the Netherlands. And with the legalization of those industries or those sectors of the economy, they essentially taxed it. It provided benefits to society. They opened up coffee shops, essentially, and people were allowed to buy and sell cannabis through those coffee shops. No longer did they need to go through back alleyways to buy things. I don't want to get too much into it. So why would we not see something similar when it comes to the sex work industry, would be my question.
I went first for the last question, so I think Casey can go first.
And an add-on to that is, why wouldn't we see the same thing, and would we be okay with it if we did see that? Okay,
yeah. I was going to say that it seems sort of like an argument posed as like, well, like raise more taxes or something. That's certainly not an argument I would make, and it seems sort of evil of like. It sort of seems like pimping out our women to raise more taxes or something. It's definitely not an argument I would make. And But almost like against even taxing it. Maybe I don't know.
The ma-
It is income, tax income.
The main
but-
focus was not on the taxes. I know you don't like taxes, Casey, but take this opportunity, all right?
Wasn't that the main?
No, it was
Wasn't that
just
the
it was
main
just an add-on to it. It's essentially how there are multiple positive outcomes. But I mean, you can take it as you want. This is your moment.
Yeah, I mean, I listed some positive outcomes, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't argue the tax thing.
Okay, no, it's not about the. Okay, all right.
That's it.
Yeah, okay, and
well,
Lanius, yeah.
Look, I mean, the only argument that I can really go to is that these are two
Casey.
different things, right?
Oh, God.
For one, we're talking about a commodity. Commodities can be what? They can be corn, they can be wheat, they can be fucking oil, they can be a million different things out there. So now we're talking about marijuana as a commodity. People can treat this as a resource from which they can derive revenue and build income and contribute to society. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against this legalization of marijuana thing. I just think it's different from sex. I don't think that we can treat human beings as commodities in the same way. And I think especially if we start doing that, then we're opening up a lot more doors to the objectification of women than if we did not treat it in the same way. So while I can definitely see the net benefit of the marijuana situation and of course everything that happens in fucking Sweden and Denmark and fucking Lithuania and all these magical Northern European places is fucking perfect because there's only 12 million people there and and everything's just fucking hunky dory. I don't know that it would exactly translate to how we live here in the United States. It might work in Canada. It might be more manageable there in terms of if we were to relate this to sex work and then try it out as an experiment. But I think that human beings shouldn't be commodified in the same way that we treat corn and fucking wheat.
A response to that I think that we do objectify women constantly and always
Well, we
will.
do.
As
Yeah, no, we
guys.
do. We do. But it's a product of sex work. It's a product of pornography.
No.
It's a product of the
No.
It's a product of the over sexualization that society has transformatively undergone over the past, I don't know, 15, 20 years, ever since the internet completely exploded on the scene.
I think it's been a thing since it's been okay to be a thing.
It's
Generally
called the
speaking.
oldest profession
I
for a
think-
reason.
Maybe like generally speaking, a more liberal society than yeah, I would say, but maybe not directly correlated to pornography or anything.
I mean, would you say that there's more or less objectification of women in today's society compared to 30 years ago, compared to 40 years, compared to however long you want to go back? Would you say that there's more objectification of women now, or would you say that there's
Yes.
less?
Yeah, generally there's more now.
Okay, so what would you attribute that to?
I think that sort of goes in line with also, um, um, just
We literally used to
like
have sex slaves.
equal being like the equal women, men and women. That women we say objectify, but again, these are adults
What
that
is
are like,
Casey doing?
I could use my body and get ahead or get something or get So if they're allowed to do that, then yeah, I just think yes, that just generally speaking, the society's become more, let's say, one, less quote sexually oppressed, and two, um, just a little bit I don't know, more open, free. I'm not even sure that it's a direct line of like up of like compared to now to like 12 or 13 years ago. I think there might even be less. When Britney Spears turned 16, they put her in a schoolgirl outfit and made a music video.
Right.
So
Wait, I'm confused. Are you saying there's more or less?
I'm saying that generally over time, if you zoom out enough, there's more. But
Okay.
I almost think there's less if you just go back like 10 years. I almost think there's less now. I almost think that at some point it's sort of
You
like,
think
oh,
there's-
we had a little bit too much there. And
You think there's less now than there was 10 years ago? Meaning, like 10
Yes.
years ago, we were dealing with Britney Spears in a school uniform at age 16, but now we are doing better, and those kinds of things don't
I don't
happen
think you can
anymore.
get. I don't think you can get away with that now. Honestly.
I mean, we were literally just talking about countdowns for minors. I mean, look at somebody like Bad Bobby.
Oh.
You know, Catch Me Outside. How about that? She literally had a countdown timer for her OnlyFans.
We're talking about the adult. Yeah, countdown for her to be an adult. Is she not an adult?
Yeah, I know. But I mean, we're not counting down. Excuse me, we're not counting down the fact that she's going to be an adult so she can go register to vote. That's not why they're counting down. They're counting
Will
down
she
to
be
the
an adult
moment.
or
They're
not?
counting down to the moment when they can objectify her, or at least legally. Legally,
Oh,
they can do it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you could point to a few things, but the thing thing you're pointing to is a woman choosing to choosing to partake in such a thing, and I'm never going to be against that. Like, she is obviously a very willing participant, willing to exchange something for something. Um, I got no beef. I got no beef. Everyone involved is a willing participant. I don't think it's that harmful to her. I think that even thinking that way is somewhat infantilizing.
That's fine if you think that way. I'm not going to contest you on that. What I am going to contest you on is whether or not we have more objectification now than we have in any. You could pick any time you want, and you're saying we have less now, and I just don't know how that's the case. I could push a couple buttons on my phone right here and objectify women all over the world, and I'm just one person. And it happens on a massive scale every day in terms of just maybe misogynistic comments on a Facebook post to actual seeking out of fucking Pornhub sites or fucking, whatever the sites there are.
Uh, yeah, you could say that in some things it's maybe more. It's not like there wasn't porn 10 years ago or 20 years ago. Um,
Okay, well let's put it this way then. Do you think there's going to be less in 5 years? Do you think it's only going to keep getting better? We're only just going to keep objectifying women less as time goes on. Is that what you're trying to say?
if the metric is simply like objectifying women, like yes or no, I could see it. I could see it coming back a little bit, maybe. But I think
coming back like it's going to get in fashion again.
I think that there's a difference between like doing it responsibly and doing it not responsibly. And there's guys are always. I think that just mentally, most guys just like objectify women as just a fucking
Okay,
fact.
that's actually so that's an interesting point. Let me just wrestle with that for a second. There is, how did you just phrase it? Did you say responsible? Responsibly? People have
Oh,
you can responsibly objectify a woman. Is that what you're saying?
you could certainly fucking do it irresponsibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can responsibly objectify a woman.
I'd say
I would be curious to know what women think about that. I don't know. But I mean, again, this just goes back to my point of, the whole argument about legalization of marijuana, and, me just making a point that, in a sense, marijuana becomes, instead of an illegal substance, now it becomes a commodity. And if we're going to treat marijuana in the context
Yeah,
of
you
this
write it
specific
down.
point that we're trying to make, if we're going to treat
And
marijuana
obviously
as a
send the
commodity,
bits.
and we're going to try to relate that to sex work, then we're essentially treating human beings like commodities instead of individuals. Or
look, Me Too wasn't a movement in the 70s. The idea that you can't treat women a certain way, that is a fucking novel idea, generally speaking. The idea of women being able to speak out when they're treated such a way at work
yeah,
or
but the fact that Me Too even exists should be a sign that women have been increasingly gotten more objectified, and they are standing their ground to not be objectified.
Yes, but they've always been objectified. Like the idea that women are able to come out now and say their piece or say what's happening. Like, but I think the idea that this wasn't happening before is lunacy. It was always
No, and
happening,
I
but
never made that
they're able
argument.
to speak out now.
Never made that argument. All I was trying to do was say that there's probably more now than there has been in the past. We only keep getting more objectifiable towards women, and it's because of things like porn and sex work, and also other, I'm not going to just put it on sex work. I mean, there are negative traits in men and misogyny that tend towards these things. So it doesn't have to be just about sex work. I want to be clear about that. I don't want to just say it's all sex work's fault. Like, oh, porn is the reason why all this objectifying is going on. There's lots of factors there, but I just don't think
Sure you
porn helps.
don't.
I don't think porn helps it at all. I think it's only making it worse. Regardless of how empowered a couple OnlyFans
He
chicks
definitely
on fucking
believes
Instagram
that.
feel.
Look at him
It's only getting
smiling.
worse.
He definitely believes
I
that.
would say that OnlyFans in particular is a positive form of pornography, more positive than what we've had before, especially for the women involved. It is very
Misogyny.
empowering and get more of a cut of what they're doing. They're basically business owners, at least. If the measurement is only like
stop
quote unquote
messaging me.
objectifying
Why
or
are you
whatever,
messaging
like,
me?
I would say that you could I would
What
say
are
that
you
you're choosing
doing?
you could choose to measure it like that, but I think it's more importantly is like
What's he doing?
is what women are consenting to versus not consenting to what's happening or whatever. I would say that by and large women probably get sexually harassed less now than they did 20 years ago or whatever. It has nothing to do with porn, but which is as a point of societies heading in a certain direction. I think it's generally positive.
No, he hasn't.
And I don't think the pornography is holding us back at all.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. I think that things like sexual harassment get brought to light because there's just a lot more accountability than there used to be. I mean, information can travel a lot faster than it used to, and people are a lot more courageous when they have more resources and more support behind them. So, yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. What else? What else? I mean, is there anything, just to get away from the marijuana thing? Is there anything that I said in terms of strip clubs that you wanted to, kind of wrestle with for a bit? Was there anything more about pornography or human trafficking? Did you agree with my definitions of sex work? I mean, I literally pulled them from the internet, so I don't think that there would be much to argue about there. But I mean, I pulled them from Merriam-Webster and Oxford, so those are pretty reputable sources. But I'm wondering, is there anything else from my opening that you took issue with? Is there something about, like, did we not hit on human trafficking enough? Do you want to stay on porn? We could stay on porn if you want. I'm fine with that. We can go into strip clubs. I'm happy to do that. I don't think we really touched on strip clubs that much.
You said that they were a gateway to other things. Did you work in Nevada?
No, I worked in Miami.
Okay.
Miami.
I mean, you're probably right that women that end up doing a certain thing, like that they probably get into strip clubs first, and probably maybe even the people they meet there might probably get them into the. I'll buy that it's generally probably one of the negative parts of strip club, but also of the positive.
Wait, hold on. But I'm not going to let you get away with that, right? So you agree with me that it could be a gateway. It's not that it is, but that it could be a gateway to prostitution and pornography, right?
Could be.
Okay, but you also said that these things make our society a better place. So isn't like a strip club a breeding ground for making amazing citizens?
You keep saying breeding ground.
Use whatever you want.
Yeah.
Use whatever you want.
Okay.
You can use we call it a
yeah.
petri dish if you want. I don't care what you call it, right?
It's a sarcastic statement anyway. But yeah, it's fine. It's
Petri
fine.
dish. Jesus Christ, that's unhinged.
Strip clubs are good to have because people like going to strip clubs. So let's not look over the benefit that customers the positive of the customers. Obviously, they're showing up there for a reason. Obviously, they're so those, and again, we're talking about that we're all talking about adults making adult decisions. Whereas like the usually when we want to talk about gateway or something like Like, again, we're talking about adults. Are so if they don't want to do prostitution, they just like need to like select the no on the menu. You want to do prostitution? Nope. That's all it takes. Um, yeah. So as long as we're talking about adults doing something um,
I think my point here is that I'm wondering if you're arguing that strip clubs are a good thing because it introduces young women to areas of life like pornography and prostitution, and that because those things make our society a better place, then that means strip clubs are like a really good thing. Is that I'm trying to connect those two ideas, because if it's a gateway to the things that make our society a better place, then what is it about strip clubs that what's your overwhelming opinion about them? Is there any bad that goes on? Is it
I mean, I gave you sort of a bad, but this idea that's like exists versus not exists. Like if it exists, there's women who are willing to dance. I don't know what they would. Maybe they might be end up doing worse things right away. This is you can conceivably view this as sort of an opportunity for them to not partake in full blown prostitution and get some money, for college or whatever.
what do you think about pimps?
Oh. Well, I think they end up being a necessity when prostitution is illegal. Then because there's violence against the women and they can't go to the police, so you end up with pimps.
There's also violence towards the women from the pimps.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But they exist for a reason, right? That's just their general job is to make sure the women are taken care of when they're not abusing them.
No, their sole priority, their number one job role is bitch better have my money. That is their number one job role. Now they will go above and beyond to protect their employees, if you want to call them that. There's other names out there. If someone doesn't
pay up, I think it's not the woman who's going to be coming after your ass, right? I mean,
right. Well, possibly. Some pimp might say, I don't know, that might not be worth it. I'm not going to pursue that guy for for a $30 hand job. I'm not going to go out and ruin this guy's life, right? But if a woman spends a night with a guy and the guy racks up a bill of $800, yeah, he's probably going to go after him, probably. But he's going to take all of that money, probably. Maybe he leaves her with some gas money, but he's going to take all that money.
Yeah. Again, I'll go back to sex, taxes, and prostitution. It's just like these things are there, and like what's regulate? Regulators.
So okay, that's actually a question I think I had. Let me see. Let me
What's
go
up,
here, 'cause I
boss?
think I actually had a question specifically tailored to exactly that. Okay, yeah, okay. So this is not hypothetical. I guess it's a little bit hypothetical, but believe me, it's not as hypothetical as I've gotten earlier. Okay, how do you regulate this world of legal sex work that you espouse? How do you collect taxes from prostitutes? And how can you trust what they are reporting as income is accurate? Do pimps get to exist? And if so, what kind of regulation or verification strategies would be implemented to ensure they are, quote,
Evening,
pimping
brother,
ethically?
evening. Midnight for me.
Well, so you don't really need the pimps anymore, mostly, right? The women can now go to the police if they need to. They could file, go to the Better Business Bureau and say this guy didn't pay
Good
his
question,
bills.
horse.
For
No,
God's
they
sakes.
could. You can't
How-
go to
how
the,
would
to
you
the,
collect
to the triple
taxes?
B against an individual, against a job.
I don't know who
It's
it is.
like
I know.
last
it's-
question
it's-
ever.
But a pimp
I don't know
could
who you would go
register.
to, but
A pimp could be.
Why is Lanius
Johnny the
destroying
Corn
File a
Canada?
civil lawsuit.
LLC? He could
Small
be a part of
claims
the
court.
BBB.
All claims court. There you go.
All right, we'll come back to the pimp. But how do you regulate? How do you regulate this world of legal sex work? How do you collect taxes from prostitutes, and how can you trust what they are reporting as income is accurate?
I mean, you're. I feel like why don't we trust prostitutes? But you could say this about anything. Or how do we trust? And by the way, that there's a lot of in a lot of industries, a lot of people are not
Sure.
paying
There's
taxes.
bartenders that make cash.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, yeah, I understand that, but we're not talking about bartenders. We're not talking about any of those. If you know, taxes are good, right? Because, well, I don't think that you think taxes are good, but you probably think that social programs are good, right?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know how we pay for those without taxes. So my point is, you know, if a woman is out there making $5,000 a night and she reports that she made 800 and she does that 365 days a year, and that's just one woman on the street, there's a massive hole for income that is not being reported. Now, if you just don't care about that money that's not being reported, that's one thing. But I would ask you to justify why you don't care. Now, if you do care, what I would ask you is how what kind of system can we put in place to crack this code here?
Well, one, you have actual businesses, so it's not all individuals doing things. So you have businesses that, of course, would be more responsible than individuals as it pertains to collecting money. Secondly, I say that, yeah, that um, whatever the as far as like
Let's put this out there. Is the woman going to have to register with the government in your legal sex work society?
yes, absolutely.
Okay. And then what? And then as they say, okay, well, thank you for registering with the United States government. Or if you even want to argue on a state's level, you can go, thank you for the registering with the state of Nevada.
Yeah,
Now that we've
here's your
done
card.
that,
You need
yeah,
to get
here's your
tested.
card.
You need to get tested for STDs every so often. We recommend you wear a condom always, though. Make the guy wear a condom always. But you know, you need to get sexually tested. And we'll sign you up for our prostitutes health benefits package. It's a very a lot of good stuff in there. Um, yeah, and then you could show the John that, oh, you have your AIDS free card. Oh, there. Okay, good. That's good. That makes me feel better as John. That makes me want to
Yeah.
not go to street woman who might fucking have AIDS or whatever.
Yeah, those are all good things, you know. And the John could have an app, right? And he can keep track of who's up to date with their records, right? And that could be all that could be above board. But the financial transaction, what happens there? You know, if Corner Kelly is out there making $5,000 a night, and if she's making $5,000 a night and she's doing that 5 nights a week, that's $25,000 in a month, and that is what is 12 times 20? That's $300,000 a year. And she's only reporting that she made 800 a night, which is 4,000 a week, which is what's that's 4,000 times 4 is 16,000 a month, and that times 12 is 192,000 a year. So it's a massive hole. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we're just talking about one person. We're not talking about every prostitute that's out there. So we're talking about massive money holes that I'm wondering, if we legalize this, how would we keep track of it?
Yeah,
Do we just trust them?
I mean, yeah, actually.
That's what we do. We trust all the prostitutes.
Well, I don't think that like making sure that they're paying their taxes is that important of thing.
Union
so
of
that goes
fuckers.
back to my argument. Like I said, you don't have to care,
Union of
but I will
fuckers.
ask you to justify why you don't care.
I mean, I do care, but it's on the lower list of things.
A
So
dumb
one, you can only do so
argumentation, but
much.
there is no gig work.
Two,
So,
it's
yeah, I know,
important
man.
for it to be legal for
This is
all of the
painful.
many reasons that I've stated
This
so
is
far.
really painful.
The idea that they're going to be they're easily paid on the table, as far as like Uncle Sam is concerned. Uncle Sam angry, but he'll get over it. It's not like the main reason. Like it was stated earlier, the idea of legalizing marijuana is like there's a lot that we're missing a lot of like revenue here, possibly conceivably. I don't think that's one of the arguments for prostitution. There's a lot of more better reasons. That this is not it's not one of the reasons I would ever state. So I just it's low on the priorities. The idea that this business, although legal, there'll be a lot of cash payments, unregistered cash payments that aren't getting taxed. I just my care meter is extremely fucking low.
What are you saying, Kay?
Well, yeah, but I'm asking you to justify it, and the way you're justifying it is saying that all the other benefits outweigh the fact that this massive hole of money exists.
Misogyny
So
in the chat.
We just don't need the. We're just going to write that off. That's what you're essentially saying. We're just going to write it off because at the end of the day, this person's healthier, they're happier, and it's fucking rainbows and sunshine everywhere. So we'll just write off millions, millions, possibly tens. That's if you don't care about it, then what are you doing? You are writing it off.
But it's not like a negative to it. It's more like this isn't a positive. That's more how I take it. You say you're writing it off as if it's like costing the state something to make this illegal, but even if it might cost a little bit, the amount that is legal, the taxes are probably easily paid for.
I mean, when Boss brought up the marijuana argument, right? One of the things that he brought up, he said obviously he said that there was an overall net contribution to the marijuana legalization effort in the societies that it was implemented in. One of them was taxes. It wasn't the focus, but I mean.
Is there was a bunch already legal in Nevada?
Right? So,
damn.
But taxes are a benefit. They go into whatever else we're going to need. They're going to go into infrastructure. They're going to go into Social Security, which might be fucking dry by
become an economical debate any minute now.
It'll go into education. It'll go into. We're talking about millions of dollars that could help the community. And you just don't care because it's more important to make this legal because there's going to be some safety benefits. People are going to be healthier and happier. But because of those things, it's worth the price of not caring about the money that prostitutes are not going to report.
What is the actual resolution there?
I just don't understand what this hole of money is going to look like. We don't do this.
Should sex work be legal?
Other industries.
And it isn't an overall benefit to society.
Servers get away with this. But they don't make fucking $5,000 a night. They make $500 a night. They make $300 a night. Sometimes they make $100 or less a night. That's why we don't care when they do it, because it's the scale to which that exists, and particularly in hospitality.
I'm fighting to
doesn't
stay
amount to
awake. It's nothing I can do.
Better on them for having a little bit more money in their pocket, right? But they're not making.
You all have options here to make this more interesting.
The scale of the money to which they make
sway the odds in Casey's favor. Casey needs help.
So all this money that I'm talking about is just essentially disappearing, right? It's going into the stripper's wallet.
I'll ask him a couple of questions.
Anyway. She's going to pay for her kids' medical bills. She's going to take a trip to Vegas. She's going to buy a Hermes bag, whatever the fuck they're called. She's going to do what she wants to do with that money, but it ain't going to education. It ain't going to healthcare. It ain't going to Social Security. It ain't going to any of that stuff. And all I'm saying is, well, that seems like a massive price to pay for somebody to be a little safer and happier.
As soon as that money is.
Whereas we could just.
But you're not getting the money anyway. I don't know. There are probably more prostitutes than there would be anyway if it wasn't legal. But
the beard is asking questions.
I would say that first of all, they're getting paid more money. Is equals they'll spend more money. It's the
but the judges.
It's good for the economy.
I don't know what the judges are doing.
The idea that Uncle Sam doesn't get this cut, generally speaking, again, it's very low on my priority list. Or very low. I'm not giving and the idea that
he's very
there
confident.
are a lot of businesses that work.
Lanius is very
about
confident.
The same. A 2021 study or estimated.
What do you mean?
Around
you are the
40%
host.
of construction
Host
workers
it.
in
What do you mean
California
host it?
Maybe part of the informal economy paying them under the table. That's a huge fucking chunk of construction.
He's
workers.
supposed to argue.
This
Why am I?
exists.
Yeah, but that's illegal.
Do your
Is this
best.
2 or 3
That's
out of 3?
illegal. You're talking about
Yeah.
people committing
He's
crimes.
supposed to
right?
be.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a legal industry. In Casey's world, if we legalize
Like
this,
where he's supposed to
then
push, he's
it
supposed to
would be
push,
legal.
and he
But
doesn't
but
push,
you can't
bro.
compare that to
I
doing.
can't make
you
him
can't
push.
compare that to doing a crime when we're talking about making something.
That's
legal.
called a bias.
So it would still be illegal not to report your income. This would change.
Okay.
nothing.
So both parties are wrong, right?
Oh,
The
something
people
get
getting paid
banned.
under the
Yes.
table and they're
Yeah.
not reporting that, they're doing wrong. The people paying the people under the table, they're doing wrong. Both people are doing crimes. Okay, that's not cool. But you can't compare people doing crimes to people doing things in this world where sex work is legal now. Why are we comparing the two?
Because no. Because sex work is legal, that doesn't mean that the sex workers not reporting their income is legal. That would still be illegal. It is still, they're still breaking
Has to
laws if
happen,
they don't
Horsfeld, this.
properly file their income. But note that making, even though that a lot of them would be doing this
Why are
illegal
they
thing,
going down this
none
line
of the benefits of
questioning,
their job not being legal are like erased or
Okay.
something. There was no,
That-
probably the fact that they're dodging their taxes isn't going to stop them from
Taxes,
reporting a crime to
bro.
the police, for instance. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can ride with you on that. Like, so
Telephone
essentially,
goes into
sex
my
work
fence.
is legal,
If he
but
doesn't
them
pay,
not reporting their
am I
income is still illegal, just like it
culpable?
would be
No.
with the California construction workers,
Absolutely.
right? So I understand that. Okay, let me get to it. This then, are some crimes okay? Because this is something you're willing to overlook.
I didn't say why am I overlooking it?
you said you're willing to overlook this haul of money that's not being reported in order for all the other good things that you say will come with the legalization of sex work to occur. You're willing. You say it like you literally said it's low on my I don't care list, or however you phrased it. It's so low on my I don't care list that it's just not even on the radar. So I'm just wondering, like, okay, well, is there a threshold here where some crime is good and some crime isn't?
I'm still acknowledging it as a crime, and if the IRS people are doing their jobs okay, they'll probably catch a few tax dodgers. That's up to them to fucking figure it out.
If Goldman Sachs dodged their taxes, how would you feel about that?
I doubt they pay much anyway.
I mean,
yeah,
look, I'm just asking an answer to my question.
The fact that Amazon paid 0 in taxes a few years ago, and more than a few years in a row, that makes me think like that doesn't make me think like that the idea of the company of Amazon should be illegal or something. Like in fact, yeah, the amount of it's just the amount of taxes that it would generate. Like it just it's just very does not matter a lot for me. And again, let me bring up the stupid guns or whatever. Like we make guns illegal, but then more people will get shot and murdered or whatever. That's illegal. It's like connecting two things that, and I would say that's way more of a problem than people not reporting their taxes. Is people actually getting fucking murdered. Again, we're not advocating for people to break the law, but legalizing prostitution may lead to some tax evasion, and I just let me check my care meter again. Nope, not giving any fucks. Still.
Right. Okay. Well, I will say, and so I mean, boss is the host, and
Yeah, I mean,
happy
we're
to do whatever.
Yeah.
I will say, like, we're gone like 2 hours now, and I don't want to make it 3. I don't want to make it. I don't want to make it 3, but I think like there's probably some other things that Casey and I could go back and forth with, but if I think it's probably better time to like take some questions from you or the judges or people that are in the chat or whatever.
Yeah.
Just to get some different kind of juice flowing.
I mean, seeing as we're here, the chat can ask me a couple of questions while we're at it. First question would be, considering that we don't have any bits or whatever, the question is going to be from me, okay? Would be essentially, We understand when we're calculating several things to be pros and cons in the world, we're going to have to dissect them and somehow be able to measure them comparatively. Now, when we're talking about things like sex work, it gets really fucking difficult because, well, how do you quantify certain things? It becomes very difficult. So, in other words, for Lanius, whenever he's looking at these at this situation, he's going to get one outcome from the situation, while Casey is going to get a completely different one. The idea is how well can you basically make the best points possible. And I feel like both of you have, well, tried your best, obviously. But at the end of the day, I want you all, both of you, to list out to us for anybody who just, got lost in the sauce somewhere along the way, what your key, just like bang, 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 quick rapid fire on what are the worst aspects of sex work, if you acknowledge any to exist, and what are the best ones. And then I want the other one to do the same, just so we can get a clear and concise, now that you've talked about it, you've dissected it, you've understood it better. Yeah. Go for it.
So essentially, like, you want a pro and con, or a couple, bang,
yeah.
bang,
If you
pro and
acknowledge,
cons.
if you acknowledge any pros, then I want you to list them out. Doesn't matter how many they are, and the same with the cons as well.
Yeah, I think for pros, I would have to say that, at least in terms of American life, a pro of sex work would be that it is part of the lexicon of free speech. And people have the right to assemble, people have the right to speak their mind, and people have the right for the government not to interfere with those things. And sex work does a great job of challenging our ideas of strict lines that people draw in the Constitution, and provides kind of like a battleground for people to have some of these very contentious ideas. Now, I don't know if that's actually a pro. I don't know. Maybe Casey could probably come up with a better pro than I could, but I would at least offer that that something beneficial coming from sex work is the fact that it's a testament to some of the strengths of the U.S. Constitution, regardless of what I'm advocating for and what other people who would agree with me, would advocate for. I think that could be a pro. I'm struggling. If I come up with another pro, I'll let you know. I mean, the cons, I think that in terms of human trafficking, mental health, gateways to several other layers of sex work. I don't know. I don't think I need to go over the things I've already talked about. I think that there's just enough cons
Yeah,
out
that's
there
fine. Just quick rapid fire. That's it. That's fine. Go, Casey.
Like if tomorrow, like everyone woke up, and we're mostly talking about women here and a few guys, but and then they were like, just like, they were so fucking healthy. They're like, I don't feel like doing sex work anymore. Like that would be a good world for like them. It's certainly a better one. That they would be like probably again healthier people. But under the idea that there are people willing that as an adult are agreeing to do sex work for money, that there's a market for that thing, as them they're not being forced into it, but that they're agreeing to do it. There will always be that. So it's always under the idea that there's always going to be that. Can we think about a utopia of well-adjusted individuals where no one ends up doing sex work or something, and everyone has to like whack off to like 100-year-old videos? Yeah, that's probably won't happen, but we could imagine it. It would be nice if there, that all consenting adults were like, I'm too healthy for this, but and maybe that would probably reflect a better society, a better world. But that's about all I can say about that. benefits not having sex work.
Okay. All right. So last but not least, I'm gonna do it because we didn't do it today. Unfortunately, everybody's fucking cheap as fuck in the goddamn chat. So I'm gonna do it regardless, just because I just want to see how it ends up. Right. I want you both to answer this question. The first person to answer the question correctly gets a point. The first person to not answer this question obviously doesn't get a point.
Son of a bitch, I just looked at that fucking string. You put those fuckers, you motherfucker. You fucker.
Right, so
You
what it
son of a bitch.
who is Barbie's little sister?
Oh.
Um,
How many guesses do we get?
The clock is ticking. Yeah, just keep answering. Like, you go. Whoever gets it first.
Linda.
And like, keep going until I said right. Yeah, you're slow as fuck. I could get 5 answers out by now. Holy shit. Keep going. Clock is ticking. You've got
Kelly.
45
Lisa,
seconds.
Tammy.
10 seconds.
Stephanie. Courtney. Melanie.
Marge.
5, 4, 3,
Candace,
2,
Annie.
1. And the point goes to Lanius because he just guessed the most. You guys are useless at this. Holy shit. Right.
that's the most.
Next
At least
one.
I didn't Google. I could have Googled it, but I have principles here. All right.
Which month of the year is National Ice Cream Month?
June.
Okay,
July. August.
yeah.
September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May,
Lanius
June,
gets
July.
it right. I'm not doing any more of this. Casey's gonna get his ass fucking beat, right? That's enough of that. Right, now I'm gonna ask the judges to apply those bonus points that we talked about earlier in the fucking video, okay? We can't even see Casey at this point. Yes, you add bonus points onto the side. I actually want my name removed from this project. Wow, cringe. Literally Anike's idea, the whole include fucking RNG into the matter. Now he's bitching about it.
I think the bonus questions are great because
I
it, like,
know.
just,
I know.
It's just like a nice little like fun
It's
cherry
just
on top to kind of
yeah,
lighten the mood.
yeah. But this
Nice
is
that they were on topic.
supposed to happen during the fucking debate. But the chat is too cheap to make that happen, so we're gonna leave it at the end just to see how it works out. Right? Okay. Just so for anybody who's interested in the future and how things are gonna look. So judges, add your bonus points on, and I'm not gonna come. That's not what I'm gonna do. I'm going to go over to the judges Discord. And yeah, actually, no, we're gonna take you one by one. Kay, get into the.
Wait, can we unmute them? They're already in our.
Yeah. Just everybody unmute each other. Don't say anything, judges. Now, when we mute you guys, we don't want you to say anything. I'm gonna ask you one by one to give us your scores. So you're gonna give us the score, as in how many points are you giving for one side. Start from Casey, and the next score will be for Lanius. And then in the end, we'll obviously have a score card. Shit. Okay, yeah, let's just do it that
Is
way.
there only 2 judges in here right now?
Yeah,
Staying up there?
K's in the fucking. I need time to add it. It was RNG for chat asking relevant questions, not fucking random trivia. Suck a dick. Okay, yeah, nobody. You had the whole fucking debate to ask questions, chat. Suck a dick. Don't care. Fuck, yeah. Okay, right. I'm gonna unmute you. Do not say anything until I tell you guys, all right? And like I said, you're gonna start from give us your score for Casey, and then give us your score for Lanius when I ask you to, okay?
Actually, wait. So we don't. I can have them unmuted. That's okay.
Yeah. Everybody has
Okay.
everybody unmuted now. Am I giving him 4 or 2? For the dumb questions at the end. No, you just give them one for each. So it goes 2 points to Lanius, considering he answered both of them correct. Yeah. Just ignore it. I don't know. Do you want to just ignore it? Just ignore it if you want. If you feel they were that bad, you can ignore them. That's fine. I don't care. The other judges can include them if they want. I'm not gonna argue with you guys.
Well, it could be interesting to see what the score is organically without them, and then see what it is with them.
Yeah, they're gonna do that, but obviously we can just add or reduct them by ourselves, considering we know that both of them are added onto Lanius's side. Okay, right. Kay, are you in here? You're not even in here. Kay, what are you doing?
He's in the judges.
Why? He needs to come in here. Move to debaters. Okay, Kay's in here now as well. I don't have him muted. Yeah, he's unmuted. He's not muted. He's got himself muted. And he can't hear us. Kay, unmute yourself.
Oh, shit.
Right, okay. Fine, whatever. Don't include the last 2 comments for trivia. It seems like everybody's getting pissy about it. Just remove them, the bonus points only, and just leave it like that. Okay, because everybody's getting really pissy about it. Nobody likes it. Okay.
So you want me to say them without the bonus point?
Yes. No, Xen, no bonus points. We asked trivia questions, right? We asked 2 trivia questions. Both of those trivia questions were answered correctly from Lanius, so you would have added those points onto Lanius. Remove those points, not the bonus points. Yeah. Bonus points? I know. Okay. Bonus points are... Yeah, they stay. Right. Okay, so we're going to start from who's... K is still muted. As long as he's still muted, we can't... Fucking K. Yo. Dumbass.
Maybe just start with someone else.
I need time. Oh shit, he's saying I need time to add it. Okay. Okay, yeah, alright. He needs time to add it. Wait, isn't he not been adding it this whole time? This is amazing.
He just wrote down the points but didn't add it up together.
Okay.
Hey, stupid cat, what did you mean by when you deduct me from making a point that it was an immigration on sex trafficking? That's a huge thing. What the fuck?
I can't remember.
Cat?
Me? Oh.
Yeah.
I don't remember when I said that.
Wait. Guys, we're not going to fight. Judges and debaters, may you please not fight each other until we decide and name the winner. Thank you. Thank you, adults.
So while Kay's adding up, what, boss, this is the first run, right? What did you think?
I'm back.
Okay, what did I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I expected more vitriolic. I don't know how you guys stayed so fucking calm. I have no idea how you did it, but you did it. Especially Casey. I have to commend Casey specifically when it comes to calmness. But in general, it was very civilized conversation on both ends. I just wasn't expecting, specifically Casey being so. Yeah.
Just to hit on that real quick, I just wanted to say, in terms of creating content, I understand friction is always the best. I mean, you definitely want some vitriol, get things spicy. In terms of content, that's right where it needs to be.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I was thinking, there's a scorecard with a bunch of things on there. And
good for you.
I would be going super risky if I went that route. So I just played it safe.
No, that's the point. The end goal is debate deathmatch, not content. All right, we understand some of us are content creators, whatever, and we're gonna try and do it as best as we can. That's why I include these fucking trivia bullshit RNG shit in order to spice things up. We don't need to get you guys to forfeit your position just to create content. No, thank you. That's not the type of thing going on here. No, I think that's why I was
see Zen versus Boss.
Huh?
I want to see.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I'm going to. Okay, that will be amazing. How about you guys pay me $50 and I'll do it. Right. Okay. Right. Zen, go first. Start from Casey and then go to Lanius.
Do I just need to say the score?
Just the number. Just the number. Just the number.
Casey has. Casey has 3 and Lanius has 25. Sorry, 23 without the bonus points. 23.
No, with the bonus points.
With the bonus point. No,
I'm gonna kill him.
The trivia, sorry. Without the trivia, 23.
Okay.
Stupid cat, what the fuck is that shit? That's some bullshit. That doesn't even make sense. It's fucking.
I can tell you why if you want.
Tell me why, you little bitch. Tell me why.
Holy shit,
Let me send all of my notes
I'll make a dick as sense.
Are you a woman, by the way? Because you do sound like one. Or are you like a soy boy?
323. What are you doing, Zen? I
brain
knew
problem, or is that
You
you
have
just
a dick.
seem like
he
that?
does.
you have
This is
Do you
bullshit.
have a brain
have a dick?
disorder,
I
cognitive
a dick?
issue?
I knew
Here.
making
cognitive
Zen
issue or,
a
DM?
fucking judge was
I
a
don't want to
bad
make fun of you
idea.
if you have something.
Woman, DMs.
Oh my
Woman,
god.
DMs.
Jesus Christ.
All of
Right,
the results
okay.
are there.
Shut the
There you
fuck
go.
up, Zen. All
Fuck
right,
you.
go to Jack. Jack is next. Give us your score, Jack.
1925.
Wait,
Casey
so
19.
that's
Lanius
22 and 47, 48. All right. well, okay. I mean, your score's gonna have to be something magical, brother. It's gonna have to be something magical. So go for it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do before your fucking stupid ass bonus points.
Yeah,
and then
nobody's
after.
adding on the trivia. No trivia, just bonus
no
points.
trivia?
No
Okay, cool,
trivia,
'cause I
just
did write
bonus
that one
points.
out.
Yeah, just bonus
No,
points.
no. What do you mean just bonus points? Is the bonus points not the trivia?
Not the trivia. No, the trivia was
what?
some. That makes it even worse, doesn't it? Great. Okay,
No one
thank you
knows
for
what
your
the bonus
input.
points are. I do not
That's
care.
okay.
Just
Even
the
though I
bonus-
literally came into the fucking Discord last night. Any questions, boys? Everything clear? Messaged
didn't
all
get
of
that.
you. Asked you a bunch
he
of
didn't-
times.
didn't
Everybody's like,
message
yeah,
me.
nothing.
I just
don't
want it
know.
on the record that he didn't message me or ask me anything last
You
night.
are
I got
literally-
home from work and I went straight.
Literally in the chat the whole time. But okay, right. All right. Next. Okay. Okay, go
So,
for it.
Anyway, I have before all the gay shit that he just talked about, like just like straight shit only. I have Casey at 24 and I have Legate at 21.
1 second. Wait, who's the winner? Okay, so Lanius, you are the winner. My maths is not going to work this out.
Yo.
46. And how much for Lanius?
21. No,
So that's
21
69.
is what I gave Legate, and Casey I gave 24.
Okay, so that's the end score, boys and
Point
girls.
shooting is stupid. It's not how you do it in boxing. No, it's
This is how you do it in
the
boxing.
judges. No, it's
Split
not.
decision.
No, it's
No,
fucking
it's
not.
Yes,
split
it
decision.
starts at 10,
No, it's
bro.
fucking not. They don't add up all the scorecards.
Okay, bro.
The
Do you know what I
judges-
do now? Do you know what I do now? Okay, this is what I do. I pull up my little fucking calculator just so we understand what's going on here. 46 divided by 3 equals 15. Thank you. And then I just remove that and we make it 15 and then do the same thing to the other one. So 69
No.
divided by 3 and then it goes to 23. Okay, that's how it's done. The end.
In boxing, it would be a split decision, 2-1.
Fine. Awesome. There you go. Okay. So Lanius wins. Is that what do you mean a split decision? Was it not obvious enough that Lanius won?
No,
It
like
is
this is how it'd be done in
Well,
boxing.
hold on. So
Judges say,
did
two
I
judges say
did I win
Lanius.
over Jack?
yeah.
That was my whole fucking goal, man. I was like, I need to reach whoever it is in the middle. I don't know
Yeah,
who it
so
is, but I gotta
even-
reach them. It's
even-
like that's the goal that I achieved, or I
Oh,
wanted
you
to
were
achieve, and
winning
I
with
got
me
it.
until the hypothetical stuff. I can do the score breakdown for you guys. Like, 'cause
So
I wrote out all
1
my
second,
notes and why.
okay, brother, please. If it's like 2 judges choose 1 participant, then that participant wins, right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, it's because people are gonna start getting confused now, thinking that we named the wrong winner. No, Lanius wins anyway. Even how it done in boxing, even according to this score, Lanius wins. Okay, everybody, be quiet. All right, thank you. Even Casey accusing us of manipulating the scoreboard already. Yeah. That's how it's done, right?
Yeah.
Split decision, right, Casey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause-
Okay. Good.
'cause, like-
Thank you.
Because like,
Yeah.
if both me and
Okay.
Kay said, like, if mine was reversed and
Yeah.
it was 1925 to Casey,
Yeah.
then Lanius still would have won if you're adding up all the points.
Right, now can we address the fucking elephant in the room? Before Kay gives us a logical explanation about something relevant, Zen,
Yeah. What?
what? Okay, right, I'll just not address it. Right, okay, what were you going to say, Kay?
Yeah, I was just gonna break it down.
Yeah, go
like,
for it.
Legate, because Legate was winning most of the argument, like most of it, like most of the stream. But like,
Yeah.
he had one specific part where I think like any good faith person would be like Legate fucking literally through the entire debate, like
Yeah.
down the toilet
Yeah.
for himself. And that's when he started the hypotheticals. In no world,
Yes,
in any, like,
yes,
would you
yes.
fucking I hit him with
I
so many -1s for bad faith on
yes.
that and like derailing the conversation. Like I was actually, it was sad because I was like, oh cool, so like nobody can be like I'm biased because I'm putting down as like Legate has so many pluses until that last, like, and then it's like straight minuses for that, and then he recovered with some pluses
Yeah,
at the end. So that
I was
Hey, you
kind
know
of
what?
glad
Hey,
that
you
I
know what?
was.
That's I did not expect to even get a score that close with NOK. My real goal was to win over whoever was going to be in the middle. I will say though, as a litmus test, right, for the debates that go on after this one,
Yeah,
if I'm a judge,
yeah.
I am going to hammer the fuck out of you if you put any hypotheticals.
No,
okay?
it's not about
Just put that out there.
hypotheticals. It's not about the hypotheticals. Like I was even unmuted. Yeah, convenient. I was even unmuted and I said it and I was like, fuck, I said it. But deep inside I was like, I'm kind of glad I said it because it's like, no, the reason why you place hypotheticals is so you can make them analogous to the arguments being made. And if they're not compared in this real scenario that we're trying to understand in this debate, then it's not relevant to the conversation and it shouldn't be raised. Like the whole point of a hypothetical is it still has to be attached to this reality or this situation. Otherwise, why the fuck do we care about it?
Let me recount 2 of the hypotheticals, and you tell me which. If one is definitely wrong, that's fine, and if the other one is wrong, you need to tell me why. One of the hypotheticals that I put out there was making mac and cheese illegal, right?
No. It's not either or hypothetical. It's the fact that you said you can only choose one of the 2 hypotheticals. That was the problem because no, you could have clearly had both of those and you acknowledged it yourself, but then anyway insisted that that hypothetical be applied and that he should engage with it. I was glad that Casey said, I am going to engage with it, but I just want it from the record that this is not like how hypotheticals work.
We could have both of these things.
Yeah.
Easily, yeah. That's
because if we can have both of those things and you're just saying, yo, just engage with my hypothetical, you can only choose one of them. There are only very, very niche scenarios where you would ever do that, and it's not even like productive for a debate. Like the only reason you raise a hypothetical is it has to be attached to this reality or this conversation that is happening, to this debate. Like, that's at least my observation. So that was the only thing.
Not every hypothetical is bad. I didn't mark down just everything.
No, it was just the fact that it was just the fact that both of them couldn't have been like available at the same time. But at least that's my observation. I could be wrong. I don't fucking know. I'm saying mine, and I'm very confident on that position. As you could see, I couldn't even control myself in that moment, and I said something, and it was like, and then I was like, holy shit, everybody's heard me now. Holy fuck, yeah.
Hey, boss.
Yeah.
I sent my reasoning with. I noted down like all of my reasonings for everything I did, and then I sent it in your DMs.
Yeah.
Like the results and shit. So you can look at it if you think I'm bullshitting.
Yeah, you did send me a whole bunch of lists, but in general, I think to be fair, like that would also.
No, I sent a new one.
That's amazing, Zen. Like you guys are gonna have to like post this at some point within a judge's like channel or something. In order for other judges to judge your performance. Because I'm going to imagine that a lot of people are going to have a lot of things to say about certain people's judgments. Just saying, just pointing out there. But apart from that, to not drag this on, thank you, Casey, and thank you, Lanius. Like, it was a good debate, and I'm glad you guys were serious. I'm glad you took this like as good as possible. You did your best, and you tried to win, and that's the point of this. Yeah. So thank you for participating. Obviously, all my opinions are my own. I just sometimes don't know when to shut my mouth. So apart from that, thank you very much. And see you boys later.
All right. Peace.
All right. Take care.
Cheers.
Anybody want to stick around? You're welcome to stick around. Otherwise, that's the debate.
I'm going to bed. I just want to say, hey, Casey.
Oh shit! Yeah, sorry.
It was fun.
Sorry, Lanius. Tell us, like where something I don't know what they usually do in fucking debates or whatever, like panels. Like where can you shout out yourself or whatever the fuck they call that shit? I don't know, man. I'm a boomer. Yeah. I don't know about any of this stuff. Yeah, tell us where people can find you. Or
I just want to say, Casey kept me on my toes the entire time, and I had a lot of fun, and look forward to doing this again. So. I'm Legate _ and Lanius _ Jr., aka Legate. Find me, don't find me. It's fine. You know, I average anywhere between 3 and 5 viewers a night, and I like my little community that I have. But if you want, come by and argue like nutbags, like we tend to do. So yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, so go everybody, go and follow the guys. We stream daily. They're frequently around. Casey, get your fucking ass in here. But the rage quit is appropriate, so we quit with it. Oh, going with it. All right. So Casey's just rage quitting. Fair enough. Thank you, Lanius. Much appreciated, brother. And take care.
Peace.
Right. Okay. All right, Mr. fucking judges. We're all alone now.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, what did you do, Xen?
I already knew Zen was
What
gonna
the
do
fuck
that.
did you
Look
do,
in
Xen?
general.
What
Look
is
in
this
general. She made
shit?
Look in general.
You piece of shit, bro. I trusted you. I knew this was going to happen. I don't even...